Well, with the popularity of video games and, of course, Epic Universe features Super Nintendo World, we're starting to see a lot more video games make their way into the theme parks. And even now, Disney is looking to get in on this trend as they are saying they're looking to integrate gaming into theme parks like never before. So we're going to take a look at what was said here by specifically Josh D'Amaro and what this could mean going forward and how Disney could do this and if this is a good idea given how I think they'll probably go about doing this. So we're going to read through an article here and give some thoughts on it. So hi, I'm Jared with Capture the Magic, and this is from WDW Magic. And the headline is Disney plans to integrate gaming in theme parks like never before. And this is around the announcement of Disneyland Abu Dhabi. We're not going to get into the hypocrisy of Disney getting into a theme park in this region.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
In terms of what they have said previously, but what we're going to talk about here is what they're saying in terms of not only, I don't think this just is about what could go into that park, but what could go into basically all of the Disney parks potentially. It says, in an interview with CNN, Josh D'Amaro tied the development of the Abu Dhabi park directly to Disney's broader digital strategy, including its $1.5 billion investment in Epic Games, which thus far, I'm not really sure what has come of that. So I play Fortnite periodically with my daughter. You have seen more integration of Disney IPs in Fortnite in terms of skins you can buy and different things like Marvel and Star Wars themed things, but they had done that before. But in terms of just a Disney specific world in which I think they initially had talked about inside of Fortnite, that has yet to happen as they invested the money, but we haven't seen anything specifically, I would say, come of that. He's noted that younger audiences, particularly Gen Alpha, are spending more time in virtual spaces, making gaming not just a form of entertainment, but a social and creative platform where Disney needs to be present.
Let's connect. Let's have a connection.
I feel like they're about 10 years too late on that. Even whenever they bought a stake in Epic Games, Bob Iger made some statement like, we noticed that, kids like playing video games.
You don't say.
Like, it's been that way for a while, Bob. But yeah, I mean, they're not wrong, but they're a little late to the game. D'Amaro also described a vision in which experiences inside games like Fortnite, developed by Epic Games, could have tangible connections to real-world parks. Think about a Disneyland theme park inside of a virtual environment. And by the way, back and forth, he explained. Something that you experience in Fortnite, for example, which is part of Epic Games, that experience you have there, you might be able to carry back to a theme park. This integration of digital and physical experiences will be a defining element of Disneyland Abu Dhabi, according to D'Amaro. Unlike existing parks retrofitted with new technology, the Abu Dhabi project presents a unique opportunity to design these connections from the beginning. We're really pushing hard into the space, D'Amaro said, and with the new park that we're building here in Abu Dhabi, we've got an opportunity from ground up to think about how games and interactivity cannot be just something you do at home or on your phone, but now how it interplays with the actual park. So obviously, video games are popular. They are actually bigger than movies and TV at this point. They make insane amounts of money. I've only continued to grow, and they're going to continue to grow. If you look at it in terms of entertainment, you pay 50, 60, 70, how much dollars for a video game, you're going to get, hours and hours of entertainment out of it. A lot of it is customized to things you want to do. And, compare that to a movie or a show, it's a lot more, I would say you get more bang for your buck with a video game if you're into video games. So obviously we're seeing Universal with Epic Universe, and they've already done it before in the Japan parks and Hollywood parks, implementing Nintendo into the theme parks, which has been a huge success. And we just got back from Epic Universe yet again, the second time we went. And I love the Super Nintendo world. If you're a fan of Nintendo, it's a great land. It's those video games come to life. So it's a really cool aspect to see that, especially growing up with it. And our kids absolutely love that land. They were having a great time just running around doing the mini games and doing the actual rides and things. So it's something that obviously audiences will be into if it's done correctly. Now, the issue that I at least see from what they're saying is I would assume they're specifically talking about Fortnite. And if you're not aware with really what Fortnite is, it's what's called a battle royale shooter. So essentially it's a game in which you have 100 people in a match and you're just trying to eliminate each other to win the game. There's other different versions of Fortnite in which they have different type of game modes, but that's the main thing with it. But Fortnite has become very popular. At least one of the reasons is they're kind of an IP hub. So in a game, you can buy skins and different things for your characters. You can play it for free if you want. So in a game, you could see Disney characters, you can see Star Wars, you can see some Marvel stuff, you can also see Transformers, you can see Ninja Turtles, rappers, singers, celebrities. Like there's tons of different skins and things that you can do with this, which adds to the customization of the game. And then people play as these characters inside the game. So the game itself of Fortnite, I don't know how that would really translate into a theme park because, again, a major part of Fortnite is these IPs that you can get. So I don't know how that translates into a theme park setting, like doing a Fortnite land. Like, I don't know. I mean, for one thing with Fortnite, they're always changing the map on these things. So there's really no... I mean, there are some maps that have some, people look at it and say this is the best map or this is the best part of this map that they've done, but they don't have like a very static type of thing that's just a part of this game. It's ever evolving. And that's one of the reasons why the game is still popular, because it's constantly being updated. So I don't know in terms of an actual land you would see this. Now they have toyed, if you look at the Play Pavilion that was going to come to Epcot, that was going to be something where that was going to change quite a bit in terms of what you could do there. Had a lot of interactivity. Potentially I could see in that type of thing. And again, this didn't come to fruition. This was scrapped as part of the Epcot overhaul, but you could have seen video game implementation into that type of an area of a theme park. So I don't think you'd be looking at like a Fortnite land. I just don't think that makes any sense, but you could see some sort of, video game implementation of it. But we still yet to have seen what Disney is going to do with their, there's supposedly some sort of Disney Fortnite version coming that's been in the works for a while that still has not been released, or I don't even know what the update is on that. But the other reason as well that I don't think you would see a direct Fortnite inclusion or whatever into a theme park is the game is essentially using guns and shooting other people.
How dare you?
So call me crazy, but I don't think Disney is really big on doing that, considering they've spent a lot of time over the years ridding Frontierland of a lot of the, guns and elements that made, the Western frontier, if you will, that were synonymous with that. They have, gotten rid of because they don't like it. So I have a hard time believing they would then implement a Fortnite land into their theme parks using guns. I mean, granted, there's no blood in the game and things like that, but still, I don't see Disney doing that. So to me, it would be whatever this Disney version of Fortnite is, which I don't even know what that would be, but they have touted that's what they're going to do. So I would imagine it would just be a Disney IP version of whatever they're doing in the video game into the Disney parks. So it really wouldn't be a Fortnite itself type of land, but more of a Disney, whatever they're doing in the game, bringing that into the parks. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be anything like a Super Nintendo World, and I don't see Disney at this point going out and getting another IP of a video game to bring into their parks, because Disney is also just trying to use their own IPs in their theme parks. So I don't really know what he means, what he's talking about this stuff and what it would actually look like, but my guess would be very similar to like the Play Pavilion, some sort of integration there where things can change and they can implement some of the stuff that they're going to do in Fortnite or whatever, and whenever that shows up. That would be my guess. They probably would use the Abu Dhabi park as a testing ground for some of this stuff, because you got to think here, Disney can really get creative in terms of what they could do in this park because they don't have to pay any money for this. They just come up with the ideas and they get royalties. So essentially, Disney could really just come out with some insane ideas that the cost doesn't matter because, again, you're dealing with Saudi oil money here. So they're not have to pay a dime for any of this stuff. So they could get pretty inventive and pretty technologically advanced with these things. And I do suppose if these were popular, they would then look at implementing these into the domestic parks potentially. That would be my guess on how they would kind of go about this and what this might look like. But then again, they may not do anything with this because sometimes they just say things and they don't really follow through with it.
What did you say?
And there really wasn't much details in what DMR was saying here. So it's interesting. Obviously, this is a trend that is going to continue to grow because a big part of Epic Universe is Super Nintendo World. And having been twice now, I can tell you the most popular land in the park is Super Nintendo World. And I think that is going to hold true once this park opens. And they're going to expand Super Nintendo World into the future. You're just going to see more of it with Universal, Epic Universe, and maybe even the existing parks as well. And obviously, if that's a big thing that's going to draw people to Universal, Disney, historically looking at what they've done, are going to try and do their own version of that, because just like how, when Universal had the Wizarding Worlds, Disney then did Pandora and Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land. So you're likely to see Disney basically follow the lead of Universal on this and try and find something in terms of the gaming world that they can put into their theme parks. But they do have more limitations than Universal in terms of how they would integrate it with their brand and how they would do that. I think they'll try it. I don't know if they'll try it domestically, but I could definitely see them trying this out here in the Abu Dhabi park, and which is, that whole thing's very interesting altogether. But I think Disney's looking at this as a playground where they can test things out, and they don't have to worry about any loss because they don't have to pay for anything. So it's not a bad setup for them on that front. You know, and if these things were going to come to the domestic parks, I wouldn't imagine you see any of this for, you know, better part of a decade, if I were to guess, because they've already got the stuff they're doing, unless it was some sort of quick turnaround thing they could do. But it's interesting that they're already looking at that, not surprising. And how they would do it, you know, time will tell on that. But at least Disney at this point is hinting at the fact of bringing video games into the theme parks. But I, for one, I don't know how you would do Fortnite, considering it would only be Disney stuff. They're not going to include, you know, all the IPs of other companies, and nor would they probably have the rights to do it. So it's an interesting game to get involved with for Disney, but it's one I find very difficult that they would really implement into their parks outside of just whatever they're doing with Fortnite, specifically with the Disney brand. But obviously with the theme park, I call them wars, heating up between Disney and Universal, you are going to start seeing things that, you know, Universal does that are popular. Disney's going to do it because they've been doing that. It'll be really interesting to see how this plays out the next 10 plus years in the video game side, because that is only going to continue to grow and get more popular. We're already seeing a lot more shows and movies that are adapted from video games. So all of that is just going to continue to grow as well. But either way, that's going to be it, though, for this video. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do this coverage here of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture. Let us know in the comments, what do you think about Disney implementing video games into the theme parks? And until next time, we will see you in the parks.